No.
Hey, here's the thing, Les. I've been trying to take a critical look at this matchup because we know the Yankees are a very good offensive team. They probably get the advantage there, although they haven't played as great as well down the stretch by any means compared to the Indians right now. And if you're going to favor the Yankees in Game 1, I think it's because you're saying that Cole has proven himself to be a big game pitcher
Right.
in the playoffs, and Bieber hasn't had the opportunity yet. But I think what your mention of him winning the MVP of the All-Star game, you had to rise to the occasion to do what he did. I realize it was only a brief appearance, but
And in an exhibition game.
yeah, but it was a pretty cool moment,
Yeah.
and I don't doubt for a minute that he's going to come out there and be the pitcher in the postseason that he's been in the regular season.
All right, help explain this to me. You've got 2 out of 3, or 2, depending on how the first game shakes out. To me, the only advantage Cleveland has in the Bieber versus the Yankees is the first 6 innings of Game 1. After that, everything is equal, right?
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. If you get down to the third game, if there's a deciding game, I think maybe you feel a little better that Klezak is your pitcher and that he's been giving you some good innings.
There you see the pitching matchups for the series that'll start tomorrow.
I don't know what's in.
Oh, go ahead, Bud. But Bud Shaw's with us. We'll get him back up again. But you got Garrett Cole going in game 1 that against Sean Bieber. Go ahead, Bud, if you can hear me.
What's that? Go ahead.
All right, we got you now, I think.
Okay, sorry about that. I was just saying that this 3-game tightrope reminds me of the '95, the first series against the Red Sox. Even though that was a 5-game series, you had the Indians coming off this magnificent regular season, all that talent in the lineup, and they have to go out in Game 1 and face Roger Clemens. And if they lose that game, who knows what happens in that series? I remember John Hart saying how stressed out they were about that matchup of having Roger Clemens on the mound in Game 1 and feeling like they'd really be in up to their neck in trouble if they lost that first game. And I kind of feel that way with if Bieber doesn't win this first game. You just wonder if the Indians offensively are good enough to pull through then and win the next 2.
Well, not the way the offense has been going, despite the fact with these incredible come-from-behind victories. I'm watching yesterday's game, or I was somewhere, and then I turn on the game, and I see it's 4-2, and I see, well, that's only 2 runs. That's no big deal. And then I see it's 6-2. I read it wrong. So they're down by 4, and I still said, all right, so that's 2 more runs. That's not a problem with this team. How do you explain that in baseball, that teams can do what they did is a remarkable feat?
Yeah, and we saw it, in a different way. We saw it in that the season when they won, what was it, 22 in a row?
Yeah.
Just guys believing that no matter what else, they were going to find a way to win late in the game. And when you have a player like Jose Ramirez who's doing what he's doing right now, I think that gives everybody else in the lineup a feeling that if they can keep innings alive, even if they can help scratch out a run here or there, have a good at bat that brings him up to the plate in a big situation, that they've done their job and that they're going to win.
But are you surprised that Game 2 will go to Carrasco instead of Plesac? Because I think the lead-up was it was going to be Plesac, and now it's not. Are you surprised by that, or do you agree with it?
I was a little bit, but I think Carrasco has really looked good the last couple times, and I think I just think they like the fact that he's a little bit older. He's had a little more experience. I think he had a matchup with the Yankees a few years back where he handled it pretty well. So yeah, I was a little bit surprised by that, but I can't really criticize it.
How about the format of this playoff and how they worked it out? Where now Cleveland, because of well, I can't explain why. I just know they're playing at 7 o'clock on Tuesday in Game 1. I'm talking to my brother yesterday. It's about the 8th inning of the other games, and I said, "What has to happen here?" And he said, "Nothing. Just keep it where it is, and then you get the advantage." I had somebody call me today and tell me it's not the advantage. Where there, I think it was the perfect setup for what happened yesterday, and yet this one person and another one, now that I think about it, two of them said they should have lost the game on purpose so they don't have to face the Yankees. Well, that's absurd. Give me 3 games at home in this current setup, and I'll take my chances.
Yeah, I agree with that, Les. I mean, listen, they've played better than the Yankees over the last 2 weeks of the season, and if there's something to be said for going into a series pretty hot, then I think the Indians have the advantage. And and I heard what Frankie Lindor said in response to a question today about the sort of the pinstripe legend of this organization that's won so many world championships. And he was like, "Hey man, that's in the past. Let's not live in the past. Like half of these guys don't really think of the Yankees as the first the first decade ever has just passed where the Yankees haven't won a world championship."
Yeah, I think that's
So
right.
I mean, I think that's the stat. So it's not like they've been reeling off, you know, World Series parades after parade over the last 5 years. They're a good team. Offensively, they're better than the Indians, but I don't think their advantage goes much beyond that. I would probably give their bullpen a little bit of an advantage, but I still think this is a very winnable series for the Indians with Bieber, Carrasco, and Plesac going.